I know.
Yeah,
See the
yeah.
little red light?
Yeah, we got a blinking light here. I have to get a spotlight, put it in the ceiling. When you click it on, he's there.
I feel like you're Ed McMahon. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes. Ooh. My talk is going to be about liberation and enlightenment.
Ooh.
The Buddha. Buddha? Buddha? Buddha means enlightened one. If we all have Buddha nature within us, which is enlightened already, Buddha nature, this life is all about stepping aside. Stepping aside and allowing the Buddha nature to arise. What you think, you will become. What you feel, you will attract. What you imagine, you will create. What you think, you will become. I always express to individuals that the way you live your life is the way you respond to it. In your thoughts, if you're chasing this imaginary illusion, which is illusion of delusion. It's like not even existing in this present moment. Because in this present moment, that awareness brings liberation. Because in the awareness is seeing all things in its reality. This is the reality. And being in that moment, there's liberation. You're seeing things for what they are. And so this liberation is responding to taking the refuge in the Buddha and the Dharma and the Sangha. Taking refuge is finding shelter in the words of the Buddha, or seeing the life of the Buddha as our own, seeing his life and kind of reflecting on our own life and our path that we're living in our own existence. Coming from a family like he did that had opulence, everything you can think of. So he was always happy, this illusion of happiness. It was all presented him on a platter. This is what is presented to you. So in our own lives, in our own path that we have taken to what has brought us here today, that was all placed before us. And what are we taking off that platter to satisfy us? That identity that we are so identifying with, that this is me, that is not me. That distracts us from our Buddha nature, that true nature of one's existence, which permeates all things. We are all connected in that, you call it energy, spirit. And I find that being in the present moment, in that reality, knowing that we're all connected, what are my actions, or my ways, or my words, or my thoughts even? Am I disconnecting, or am I being one in all things in that present moment? In the Four Noble Truths, we know that suffering exists because of choice. And that choice is the way we're going to live our lives. Either happy, or we're going to live in suffering, following whatever experience that we may be in. So we can end that suffering by seeing the kind of the origin of where that's coming from, meaning, well, it's not that, it's not the true Buddha nature in that person. That's not what I'm connecting with, or what I'm seeing is the identity that person's identifying with in that moment of expressing something that's not of their Buddha nature. So, listening and being still helps cut off the ties of that suffering, the attachment to the sensations that we are believing that what is causing us suffering. And so that clinging to emotions and feelings that arise in any situation is what we are trying to detach ourselves from, because it'll lead us down a path of suffering emotionally, and because we know that emotions within us will cause us sorrow and heartache and stress, and then you can't sleep, then you're fatigued, then you won't eat, and it's this cycle that just grows and grows because you are following that illusion that is not the reality. So within the practice of Buddhism, you'll find yourself conducting yourself in ways that should be in the Eightfold Path. You know, you'll have clarity, of what's the reality in that moment. You'll have clarity. Yeah. And with that, your actions will convey your practice, because your speech will be different, your actions will be mindful of others, which is the Sangha that we had you take refuge in. And you'll see the support within the Sangha. Because when you're in a Sangha, you come together in the practice of mindfulness, aware of each other, and you grow with each other. Because going back to that oneness, in that Buddha nature, we're all connected. As one suffers, do we all suffer? One has joy, do we all lift each other up? And through that joy, if a man can control his mind, he can find the way to enlightenment. And all wisdom and virtue will naturally come to him. So in that wisdom, this maturity of the awareness of not following desire, craving, which leads to dukkha. It's having that wisdom to end that the continued cycle of suffering. So that liberation is not a one-time event. It's a continuous, multiple liberations of detachments. And I pray at the end of one's life, all detachments are let go. And that's where true nirvana comes in, which is complete bliss, joy, peace, happiness, whatever, how you describe it, but it's recognizing in that moment of liberation, nirvana, I believe, is seeing that Buddha nature within is fully arised within you. So I encourage everyone to continue their practice in the times of friction or clinging to what makes you unhappy. Because there's more in life than that 1% There's all this 99% over here is waiting for you to participate and enjoy, and that one thing can really take you down a path of delusion, where Mara goes into the mind, because that's what Mara is. Mara is up here in your thoughts, and can't come down here. So be aware how, I see I'm just reflecting on when the Buddha was meditating, and Mara and his temptress daughters were just bombarding him with all these imagery and sensations, everything, and he was just still. Are we still in the moments of bombardments of all these imageries and thoughts that are trying to influence, to take us away from our Buddha nature? You know, be still, be quiet, and listen. And there you will find what arises is your Buddha nature. Through liberation and enlightenment,